why is nobody talking about this? Like, this is actually insane news. Like, this is actually crazy. The fact that this came out on May 7th of this month, and I have not seen, unless I've been living under a rock, because, I mean, a lot has happened in May, but, like, unless I've been living under a rock, why is nobody talking about the fact that Fullmetal Alchemist is on Webtoon? And this might not seem like a crazy deal, but let me explain the reason for this. I'm going to click on, like, for instance, a random chapter. Let's, like, do chapter 9. And if I click on chapter 9, you'll notice instantly it's fully colored. Like, from my understanding, or I don't know if Fullmetal Alchemist has ever gotten a full colored edition. I know, like, Dragon Ball has, for example, and maybe Fullmetal has, okay? Maybe I'm wrong there, maybe it has gotten a full color. But what this does, like, what this opens the door up for, or at least with this release of Fullmetal Alchemist on Webtoon's platform, is the fact that they are now diving into manga. They are diving into the manga industry, and not just releasing, for instance, like, pulling it up to, like, their page here, they're not just releasing, like, webcomics and stuff from individual authors. They're literally adding works from mangaka, authors that work in Japan and stuff, and putting them on their site. That's insane, because what this means is that they are a competitor now. They are actually a competitor, not just to, let's say, other webtoons and stuff, but they're now a competitor to the manga industry. Like, for instance, like Viz, or Manga Plus, for instance, or, you know, any type of, like, app that's about reading manga legally. This is straight up a direct competitor now. Them doing this, like, I'm fascinated, because this means that they might try to get, like, licensing rights and stuff, maybe shared rights with certain series to be able to read it. Maybe their niche will be to have colored manga, which that would, oh my goodness, like, that opens up so much possibility. So let's talk about that for a second, okay? So, Fullmetal Alchemist is a pretty iconic series. I think anyone that is in the anime and manga community is pretty well connected with what Fullmetal Alchemist is. Even if you haven't, let's say, necessarily watched it, you know that it's very important. It's a very big, important piece of literature for anime culture and manga culture, and it's great. It's a great series. It has a beginning, middle, and end, and it is honestly, if there's any story I can really say that has a good conclusion that really left me satisfied, it is Fullmetal Alchemist. It is a great story, hands down, fantastic. But what I want to point out is that the fact that this is fully colored, and even if it already had a colored edition, this can pave the way for, like, manga series, like new Shonen Jump series, let's say, that, you know, comes out in the manga, or the magazine, getting colored. Like, maybe they can have dedicated, like, illustrators or, like, colorists and stuff to actually color the manga panels to come in and release these chapters with color on them. That would be insane. Like, imagine being able to, let's say, read a new chapter of a manga. Like, you know, Ruri Dragon. Good example of that. Imagine, like, a new chapter of Ruri Dragon comes out, and you're able to literally read it entirely in color, like, when it comes out. Maybe you might have to wait a day or two, I don't know, but that is definitely a possibility here. So, like I said, this is some pretty big news. This changes a lot. This changes, like, everything right now, at least in, like, competition in the West for the manga industry. I'm assuming in Korea as well, in different countries besides, obviously, the West, this is also being released. So, yeah, I'm legitimately curious. I mean, I don't know if Viz has Fullmetal Alchemist on their site. They probably do, because I know they have a big catalog. So I wonder if this is shared rights with Viz Media for this or not. I mean, we do have stuff like that when it comes to, like, episodes for anime and movies, so it's not really far-fetched to assume, like, there could be shared rights or a manga chapter on different sites, but, like, this definitely could be different than a normal release. The fact that you can read it on your phone, but also it in color, I think the benefits really speak for itself. Now, obviously, people will straight up say they will prefer the traditional black and white. I can understand why people would say that, but I gotta admit, if I could read my series in color, and, like, it's a really amazing colorist goes behind and just does some crazy background coloring and everything, bro, like, actually, it would be probably my preferred way of reading manga. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. But, yeah, I wanted to talk about this, because this was honestly some crazy news that came out, and I've seen next to no conversation about this. So, yeah, apparently you can read Fullmetal Alchemist not just on, like, Webtoon's platform, but it's in color. Like, what? Whoa. Like, times really be changing, man. Like, okay. But, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I know this is a brief video, but I was in shock, and I wanted to share this with anyone, because, like I said, I've seen next to no conversation about it. So, yeah. Anyways, I love you guys. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.